Hello, a very good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is fit and healthy. I'm Ms. Aisha Siddiqui, and I am from Arham College. I will be teaching General English for the SYBA students. Semester 4, I'm referring to this linguistic book, and on page number 77, we are starting with the 5th chapter, that is syntax. Now, syntax is a traditionally defined so it is a traditionally defined as a branch of linguistics. So we've done linguistics. Linguistic is the science of language, and this is another branch of linguistic, and it studies the structure of sentences. So we are all going to jump up to sentences now. Now, as human beings, one of our most defining and distinguishing features, we are all different and unique in different ways, right? So our most different defining feature is our language. The way we speak defines who we are. Though it does not depend that you're speaking English, Hindi, or Marathi, or any other language, but it depends how we are speaking it, how you're framing your sentence, how confidently you're speaking, right? So as a human being, language is a very important thing for a human being. It showcases your ability. So scientists believe that if we were unable to fully understand, if we were able to fully, if we were able to fully understand the mystery of our abilities to use our language, we will be able to know and understand a lot about how humans mind works, as language is considered as one of our primary means of cognition. So if we know how a person speaks, so by understanding the way he's speaking, is he lying, is he telling the truth? So it also comes out because of the language, right? So if you know how confidently you're speaking, you can know a lot more about a person with the help of language. If you do not know the language of that same person who is speaking, there will be a communication gap and you will not know each other that well, right? So language is very important here as well. Indeed, one of the most remarkable aspects of human language is our ability to build up a larger unit from smaller components. Thus, we get words from the inhuman communication system. So we have many words from the human communication system. We grew up knowing those words. It's not invented or something, but we grew up knowing these words, right? Now, okay, here, thus these words are ruled by the language system, right? Now, however, everything is in language is rule government, even the exceptions. Thus, we cannot randomly assemble any word anywhere with any sound and declare a new word, right? There are rules that govern the sound system and declare a word. So there are many rules when a new word in the dictionary is added. It's not randomly that you just speak out anything and that gets added, right? It has a procedure of getting added, and then it has a rule as well, a governed rule. All right. Now, so also we cannot just randomly pick any set of words, put them together and declare it as sentence. Similar to a word, when you have to put a new word into a dictionary, you cannot randomly add it. Similarly, you cannot randomly just mix out all the words and put it into a frame and then say that it is a sentence. So that also cannot work, right? When we say that syntax studies have a structure and are not just a random string of words, we mean that they are rules and regulations we need to study about syntax when we learn sentences. Something that has made up or built up of parts. Syntax is built up of parts. The way in which the parts of a system or objects are arranged. So the rulings of arrangement of the system. Then based on this understanding of the structure, we study the structure of sentences, that is syntax. So this was an introductory class on syntax. We have to study both. In syntax, we need to study two things: the parts from which sentences are built and the way in which these parts of sentences are arranged. So first, building of the sentences, and then how they are arranged in a proper format or organized so that the sentence is clear. So this was all about syntax, just the beginning or the basic, you can say, of syntax. Now we will focus on both the aspects of the sentence, okay, in this chapter. So we know that syntax is everything about sentences now, and now we are going to focus on more things in syntax. Let us begin with an example now. Look at the sentence. I'm reading out the sentence for you. The last batsman scored the only century in an otherwise forgettable match. What does this mean? How they framed and put on all these words together and a sentence has come up, right? So that this sentence is made up of words and it is not a remarkable information. So this is made up of different words. It's not a fact, right? We have taken the fact and placed it into different words. All right. Now we cannot understand that if we were just to jumble up all these words and get some sentence like, for example, batsman otherwise scored match and forgettable only last century. So we've taken the same words that we took in the previous sentence. Still, we cannot make it in a proper, sensible sentence. To make a sensible sentence, you have to put these words in the proper order and organize it very well. So I just said, let's go back and see the two parts that we had to do. First is the building of the words for the sentence, and second is the organizing of these words to make a proper sentence. Then, now in linguistic, the grammatical mistakes really matter. If you are putting the wrong words in the wrong place, you will be grammatically wrong. The above sentence is clearly ungrammatical, right? So the second sentence, that was the wrong sentence I said, it was of course not in a proper order organized. So it was ungrammatical, you can say. Yet it clearly uses the same set of words. Now the first sentence that I said it correctly, it used the same set of words, but in a grammatical sense. So that was clearly. Therefore, knowing the structure of the sentence in the language means that you should know the order of the words and how to organize it in order to get a complete sentence. Right? We do not have rules for each sentence separately. There are common rules or general set of rules. If we look at a sentence, if you look at the first sentence that I read, that was the correct one. While the kind of jumbling, as we saw in the second one, the wrong one, made the sense absolutely nonsense. I mean, it did not give sense to the sentence, right? The second one was actually nonsense, you can say. And the first one made sense because it was structured properly. So it is possible to move around some words and get the following sentences, which are also perfectly grammatical as well as meaningful. So now the first sentence that I showed you, the second one was wrong. Now the same words we are going to pick up and use it here and there. That means we're going to change the structure and organization of the sentence and try to put it in a proper order so that these words make a sentence and a meaningful sentence, not like the second one. So let's see. For example, the only century was scored by the last batsman in an otherwise forgettable match. So this was the set 2 of the correct grammatical sentence. Let's see the set 3 of the correct grammatical sentence. In an otherwise forgettable match, the only century was scored by the last batsman. This is set 3. Let's see the set 4 of a proper grammatical sentence. In an otherwise forgettable match, the last batsman scored the only century. Now you see here, if we use proper grammatical sentence and put all these words in a proper structured format, so even by jumbling the words, we get proper sentence with the same meaning, right? So we just need to know how to structure the sentences, and syntax will show us the same thing. The syntax, the word itself says that putting or structuring the words in a proper sentence. Okay. Can you also think of at least two different ways in which you can move the words and then produce grammatical sense. So you can use any set of words, take it online, for example, anything, and then put it into a proper grammatical sentence. Try to put or jumble these words and make a proper grammatical sentence. Okay. Now sentences are formed from words, but before these words become a sentence, they are first grouped into meaningful groups called phrases. All right. What are phrases made up of? What kind of phrases do we generally have in languages? Phrases are made up of a group of words, okay, that come together to modify the meaning of a head word. All right. In linguistics, we use the term to modify. Modify means to add up something meaningful to the word to make a proper sentence. To give an example of what we mean by modification, let's take the noun shirt. So the shirt, okay? If we add an adjective to it, all right, before this noun to make it, what is an adjective? You know, adjective means to add something to the noun, that is the shirt, to give it more meaning. So you can say a yellow shirt. So I'm wearing a shirt and the adjective added to it is a yellow shirt. We say that the yellow modifies the meaning of the shirt. So the yellow actually describes in more giving sense to the shirt, right? Of all the million of possible shirts, you are referring to a specific yellow shirt, okay? The addition of the yellow now limits the shirt category. So there are so many shirts in the whole universe, out of which we are taking out one category and explaining and specifying one thing, that is yellow. So all the yellow shirt come in your picture. Now we may not be interested in talking about all the yellow shirts. There will be so many yellow shirts, right? So another modifier comes into the picture. That is the. The is another verb, not a verb, sorry, word that is added. The yellow shirt. Now, the gives you a proper described, specific description of a proper shirt. This yellow shirt. That means I'm only talking about this one and not the whole universe yellow shirt. So, the is the describing noun of a proper specific shirt. The yellow shirt. Okay. All right. Now, what the does to the expression of yellow is to limit this yellow shirts could be referring to an according to the context. All right. So from a very normal meaning thing, we have come up to a very specific meaning, which we are referring to. All right. It helps. It is with the help of these modifiers. Thus, in a sequence like the yellow shirt looked very clean. The yellow shirt looked very clean. We can clearly see that the words the, yellow have more to do with the shirt. Yellow and the have more, and then cleanliness is also shown. So is it dirty, is it clean? So it is also getting more described. Thus we can see that the words that may look like just in a linear sequence, like if you say the separately, yellow separately, shirt separately, clean separately, these are all different words giving us the meaning. You can add up these words in other sentences also. But when we bring all these words together, we make a proper specific sentence on a specific thing. These groups of words that act single unit are also referred to as phrases. All right. Now, the typical kind of phrase is determined by which word is considered the head word, which is then said to be the modifier, and then the phrase. In our example, the yellow shirt, it is clearly shirt, which is the head word. So we said a shirt in the beginning. So this becomes the head word. This is the main subject we are talking about, right? The shirt is the head word. All right. Or simply the head, the heading. Since the head of the phrase is a noun, that we are saying shirt, it is a noun. This phrase is a noun phrase. All right. Similarly, the phrase very clean is a modifier because you are modifying it to show that it is clean or it is dirty. That is a describer. All right. So the adjective added to it, yellow, becomes an adjective. Clean becomes the modifier. And as I said, yellow is the describing phrase, so it becomes an adjective phrase. Other important types of phrases include verb phrase, prepositional phrase, adverb phrase, adding something more to the verb, giving you adverb phrase, then adjective, adding something more to the sentence is known as adjectives. Just like adjective phrase, noun phrase, verb phrase, it has to have a heading on top. All right. Now, not only are words in a sentence grouped into phrases, they are also something hierarchically formed within a phrase. For example, if we take the noun phrase, that is a very clean shirt, we know that even though a and very appear next to each other, a very clean shirt, a and very are next to each other. Very is a modifier, clean is an adjective. Together they become gives, it modifies the shirt, right? So there is a hierarchy for the words as well. That means how to put them and where to put them, like a step. So we just now in this video saw the whole thing about what is syntax. Okay, let's just have a backup, or you can say summary of what we did. Syntax is the structure of sentences, how we're going to build up the sentences, how we are going to build the first word, the head word, and then the whole structure. So we saw for building up a structure or a sentence, we need phrases. We saw the phrases, how they're added with the help of a noun, that is shirt, and then how it got described, and then we got different words. Now we have all different words. Now we need to frame it in a form or a format. So we saw that that form or format is actually in a hierarchical form. What is a hierarchy? Hierarchy means your grandfather first, then your father, then you, then your child, right? That's the hierarchy. The highest, then comes the second, then the third, and the fourth. So we will in the next class see how is the hierarchy of adding these words to frame a proper sentence. All right. And then we'll move forward for the syntax. There are many more rules and phrases and how examples are given for the hierarchies. All this is mentioned. So syntax. Then there's a part of clauses also that is going to be studied in this chapter. Types of sentences, how they're structured, classification, the WH questions, that is all the or the yes and no questions, the question tags that comes under the syntax. Then we have do, support, in imperative sentences. So all these type of sentences that we study in grammar are going to come into this. But first we are going to see how a sentence is built, and then later on we're going to go to the different types of sentences. So I hope this class was clear with this linguistic chapter is clear. It's a part of linguistic, that is syntax, and then we'll move forward. Please go through these pages, read about it on the internet so that you will learn it more. Thank you so much, students. Take care of yourself. Stay safe, stay home, take your vaccine.